Am I live? Are we live? I think we are live. Hi guys, welcome back to Life Above the Clouds. My name is Lauren Gaw, and today I have no special guest. It's just me. And I also forgot that I didn't turn on my camera to record this. So hold on one second. Hold on, guys. I'm here. I have to put in my microphone. Is anyone watching? No, nobody's watching, so it doesn't really matter, does it? All right. Hold on one sec. Oops. Okay, I think we're ready now. Let's start over. Is anyone here? It says unable to connect to chat. Please try again later. So I can't see if you guys are here in the chat. I don't know how to fix that. Does anyone know? You can't even tell me in the chat because it's not working. What if we pop it out? Is this working? I don't know. I don't think anyone said anything. Well, we're here. Let's start this over. Hi guys, my name is Lauren Gaw, and welcome back to Life Above the Clouds. And today I have no special guest. My guest unfortunately had to cancel on me, which totally works out because I actually have some holiday baking that I need to catch up on because I do like to make cookies and give them out for the holidays. So today we are making one of my favorite Christmas cookies, molasses cookies. And these are so easy to make, but they are full of all of those spices that remind me of Christmas, like cinnamon, nutmeg, and cloves, and ginger. So they just taste like Christmas to me. And today we are going to try something that I've never tried before, but I saw on the internet. We are going to try cooking them in a muffin tin. It is supposed to be great because all of your cookies will look uniform. And I already used my scooper, so all of my cookies end up being the same size anyway. But this makes them perfectly round, so they look great when they're all stacked up, and they will be crispy on the edges. Hopefully that's what the internet tells me. So we're gonna try it and see what happens. So I guess we're gonna go ahead and start. I still don't know if the chat is working. Somebody say something if you're out there, because I see on here that there are 3 viewers. Are you guys there? Anybody there? I feel so lonely because I have no guests, so I'm doing this by myself. So I'm just gonna be like literally standing here and talking to myself this whole time if there's nobody in the chat hanging out with me, right? Well, still nobody. I'm gonna start anyway. I'm gonna start by whisking my dry ingredients together. I have here, this is 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour, right? I have it written down, I always have to check. So this is 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. I also have 2 teaspoons of baking soda. And in here I have 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I have half a teaspoon of cloves, 1 teaspoon of ginger, and 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. You can't see. Hi, Gary, Devlin, Jerry. It's Jerry. I'm supposed to wear glasses, but I refuse to because I don't want to look like a nerd. Not like wearing glasses makes you look nerdy, but you know what I mean. But hi, welcome! Today I'm making molasses cookies, and they're gonna taste great, I hope. I am whisking together my dry ingredients. I have my flour and baking soda, and then I'm adding my spices, cinnamon, cloves, ginger, and a little bit of salt. I am just going to whisk these ingredients together. You just want to make sure that they are evenly combined and that there is no huge lumps. And then we are going to set this aside. Now in my bigger mixing bowl, I am going to combine my butter. Total, this is 3/4 cups of butter, which is kind of a lot of butter, but we're making some really chewy, yummy cookies. So this recipe also makes about 4 dozen cookies, so I am using 4 tablespoons of cannabis butter and 8 tablespoons of unsalted butter. I like to use 1 tablespoon of cannabis butter per dozen or 12 servings. So that means 4 tablespoons total. I'm going to mix that with my brown sugar. This is 1 cup of packed brown sugar. So we are going to cream these together until they're nice and creamy. I know, going in with the good terms here. We just want our butter and sugar to come together, and it kind of creates these little air pockets that are going to make your cookies fluffy and chewy. And this is also room temperature butter, so it's going to mix in really, really well. You want your butter to be softened, or those hard chunks are going to take forever. So one of the things you can do is put it in the microwave, but that always ends up getting melted on the outside. So if you don't have time to put it out on the counter earlier in the day, because sometimes you forget, or you have other important things to do that day, one of my favorite things to do is to actually put it on a little platter and then fill a bowl, like a glass bowl like this, that's going to be big enough to cover the butter. Fill this with hot water. So I just boil some water with my electric kettle because it's super fast. I fill the bowl with water and then let that sit for about 5 minutes to warm the bowl up. Then I dump out the water, dry the bowl off a little bit so it's not dripping water everywhere, and put it on top of my plate over the butter like this, like a little dome, and that heat is going to help soften the butter. It's a great trick, and one of my easiest things that I like to do. You can also do it, I've never done it this way, I don't know why, but you can put your butter sticking up like this way, like the stick of butter, and then do the same trick with the hot water in a glass and then stick the glass over it. There's tons of other tricks that you can do to soften your butter. I have also heard of pounding your butter. This seems like a really hands-on approach. I like my baking to be pretty easy, but what you do is you take plastic wrap and cover your work surface, put your butter on, and then plastic wrap on top of that, and take a rolling pin and beat the butter. And then you take your sheet of butter, fold it up again, and then beat it again until it is softened out. You can also put your butter in your stand mixer, which I have done before. I don't usually use the stand mixer on the show because it has a metal bowl, so you can't really see the ingredients inside, so I don't love it for filming. And also because I would need an extension cord to fit it, and I don't know where our extension cord is, so oops. Jerry uses a microwave, yes, and my microwave also has a soften setting on it, but I still hate how it gets melted on the outside and then still hard on the inside. It's always uneven. You can try, I think, doing like 30% power for 15 seconds, things like that. Okay, so here we have our butter. Butter and our brown sugar is nice and combined. And now I'm going to add 1 egg and our molasses. So I've also put my egg out so it's room temperature. Oops. It's not great to cook with cold ingredients because they don't come together as well. And here I have 1/4 cup of molasses. I actually had this molasses left over from when I made gingerbread cookies. And if you guys want to see the video for that, hopefully I remember, and I will put a link in the description box below. I actually have a bunch of gingerbread cookies in my freezer because I couldn't eat all of them. So now that it's almost Christmas, I can bring them out again. So we are going to just mix up our butter and brown sugar mixture with the molasses and our egg until it is well combined. And then we are going to add in our dry ingredients. So I'm just going to gradually add them in as my mixer is running until we are just combined. This definitely is easier with a helper because when I have a guest on the show, I like to put them to work, and so then I can zoom in on the camera so you guys can see really what's going on in this bowl. I know that you are looking at it from very far away, so hopefully you guys know what's going on. Oh my gosh, this smells so good. It smells like molasses, of course, but it also smells like cinnamon and ginger and cloves and Christmas. Is that what Christmas smells like? My bowls are rattling. Things are happening here. So I've already, before we started our live stream, I've already preheated my oven to 375 degrees. So it is already nice and warm and ready for our cookies. And now our dough is just nicely coming together. I don't have a spatula here to scrape the sides of my bowl, and I'm too lazy to get one, so I'm kind of just using my hands. Don't worry, I washed them. And then I'm just gonna give this one more little mix. Perfect. Fling it off of my mixer paddles, and let's put this aside. So here, can you guys see what our dough looks like? It looks pretty crumbly, but if you shape it with your hands, it's actually very, very soft. And now we have 4 viewers who just joined us. So now, if you just joined us, today I am making molasses cookies, which is one of my favorite Christmas cookies to make because they're easy to make, and this recipe yields 4 dozen cookies, so I will have enough to give away to lots of friends and neighbors. And today we are going to try this thing that I saw on the internet. We are going to try cooking them in a muffin tin. So this will make our cookies all uniform size because they will all be the same size as our tin, obviously, and it is supposed to make them nice and crisp on the edges. I've never tried this, so hopefully this is not a disaster. We do not have to butter our tin because there is a lot of butter in our dough. There is actually 12 tablespoons of butter total. Because this is 4 dozen cookies, I have 4 tablespoons of cannabis butter and 8 tablespoons of unsalted butter because I like to do 1 tablespoon of cannabis butter per 12 servings. So I'm using my trusty scoop, one of my favorite kitchen tools. It makes portioning out cookies and muffin batters super easy and uniform, and especially when you're dealing with making edibles, you want all of your servings to be the same size. and they look better, obviously. This is they're numbered, I think. This one doesn't have a number, but I think it's 1.5 tablespoons total. So I'm just going to start by pressing in the dough and then just popping it into one of my little muffin cups, cupcake tin, muffin tin, whatever you call it. So we are just going to put one in each. Now what I usually do with these molasses cookies is I actually drop them out onto a lined baking sheet. So a baking sheet lined with parchment paper, or you can use a silicone baking mat. And then I like to stamp them with sugar, kind of like you would do a sugar cookie. So what I would do, I actually have a bowl of sugar here. You would take a flat bottom glass and kind of tap it into the dough so it's a little sticky on the bottom. Then tap it into the sugar so the sugar sticks to the bottom of the cup. And then use that to press on top of the ball of dough. So if this was on my cookie sheet, I would just take the cup and stamp it right on top. And then that gives a really nice, beautiful, even coating of sugar on top when it bakes. You could also make molasses crinkle cookies. I've actually never done that before. But what you would do is you would take your ball of dough and you would completely coat it in sugar. I would just take this ball of dough and put it in my bowl of sugar right here, roll it around so it's totally coated, and then I would take that and I would put that on to my sheet. And then I believe you actually sprinkle it with water to make it look crinkly. But here are, can you see? I don't want them to fall out. Here are all of my cookie dough balls filling my muffin tin, and I am actually going to flatten them out, and I'm going to just use my hands. So they're kind of flat. They will even out when they bake in the oven. But I'm doing this because I do want to sprinkle sugar on top. That is just how I am used to making my not my gingerbread. I mean, this is kind of similar to gingerbread. This is just how I am used to making my molasses cookies. And once again, I did not grease or butter this tin because there's so much butter in this cookie dough, and most cookie doughs will have enough butter in the recipe that it won't stick, but you know, I once again haven't done this before, so we'll see what happens. So I just gently flatten them out with my fingers, and then I'm going to I just have a little bowl of granulated sugar, and I'm just going to sprinkle this on top, try to make it even. So that way they will have a nice, beautiful, sugary coating on top, because, you know, the more sugar, it's not gonna kill you, is it? It just makes it taste better. More butter and more sugar, that's what makes things taste delicious. Am I right? So this looks great. I am going to brush off the excess that's on the top of the tray because I don't want that to burn and be difficult to clean. And then here is my muffin tin. Can you see what's going on? So my muffin tin with my cookie dough balls, I flattened with my fingers and then sprinkled sugar on top. And I'm going to pop this into the oven. It is already preheated at 375 degrees and cook this for about 8 to 10 minutes. So I'm gonna set my timer for 8 and we're gonna go check on it and we'll see how they look. Be right back. Okay. All right, so while that batch is going, I am going to fill up my other muffin tin. I only have 2 of these bad boys, so we'll have to do this in batches, but that's okay. What are your guys' favorite Christmas cookies? I'm like, what do I just sit here and talk about by myself? Nobody's talking to me in the chat. Except Jerry, but I haven't heard from him in a while. Jerry, are you still out there? Who's my other viewer? I do love making, I was going to say making cookies, but I just love baking in general, especially around the holidays. because one of my favorite things about the holidays is the food, but also sharing it with people. I think that's what food is really for, right? And I love baking because I love sharing it with my friends and my family, and just giving somebody a freshly baked cookie really puts a smile on their face. Even a not freshly baked cookie makes me happy, to say the least. I just love sweets, and I just love the happiness that you can spread when you are making something from the heart for somebody. So Jerry likes soft cookies. What kind of soft cookies? There's so many to choose from. Sugar cookies, chocolate chip cookies. Ooh, I do love a good chocolate chip cookie. I actually feel like I have perfected my chocolate chip cookie recipe. The secret ingredient to mine is that I have a little bit of cinnamon in it, and I think that makes it very special. The recipe is actually on my channel. If I remember, I will link the video in the description section below. But I feel like, you know, you gotta have the good classic chocolate chip cookie, right? So I've pressed down my any cookie. I like your style. What about other baked goods? Brownies, cakes, pies. I actually made pie for the first time. That's a lie, not the first time. I've made pecan pie, but this is the first time I've made a pie crust from scratch. Over Thanksgiving, I made an apple pie. The apple filling was not from scratch. I hate to admit it. Peanut cookies. Ooh, like peanut butter or like peanuts. Hi, Ruben Avila. Welcome to my live stream. Today we are making molasses cookies for the holidays, and it's just me today. I have no guests, so I am so happy that you guys are here and chatting with me, because I get lonely sometimes talking to myself. Brazos isn't even here today. If you don't know Brazos is my dog, and he is big enough that he can come and put his head on the table, and he loves to poke his nose around and lick things and wait for people to drop crumbs, but he is not even here today. So here's my second tray, and I'm going to go put this in the oven as well. And, you know, I might have a muffin tin. I'm going to look for it, and I will return. Guys, look at this. I found another muffin tin, and so we can make more cookies. Ruben, it is good to see you again as well, but I guess I can't see you. I don't know what you guys look like. You guys are just anonymous chat boxes to me. I'm just kidding. You all hold a very special place in my heart. I think it is so awesome that you guys are spending your Friday hanging out with me while I blab about who knows what, making silly little cookies. Today we're making molasses cookies for the holidays. It's one of my favorite Christmas cookies to make. So welcome if you guys are just joining, because I guess today we have 5 viewers, which is so good. I know it's confusing because I keep changing around the time of the live stream. I'd like to have it set around 2 because that gives me enough time to run to the grocery store if I need to in the morning and set everything up before we start the stream. But sometimes when I have friends on the channel, they are not available at 2 p.m. or, you know, people have other stuff to do in the afternoon, so we have to do it earlier, we have to do it later, which is great. Ruben Avila says, nah, you can just see me on Instagram. That is true, I could see you on Instagram. What was I thinking? Social media, our faces are just everywhere. The other night, last night, what am I talking about? I was actually just trying to figure out how I can get my birthday taken off of IMDb, because if you guys have seen the streams before, sometimes we talk about my age a little bit, and we talk about how I look younger than I actually am, and I say that my real age is on the internet. If you Google me, you will find it, and I kind of hate that it's on there. But IMDb has this policy that they will not remove factual facts. They won't remove information that is factual, which that is my real birth date that is on IMDb. So, well, look at that. I'm so glad that I ended up having 3 muffin tins because we used up all of our dough. Before, when I've made these, they usually make about 4 dozen cookies instead of 3 dozen cookies, but I guess the scoop that I'm using is bigger than what I usually use. In the past, a lot of times I will actually just use 2 teaspoons and drop them by hand, which if you don't know how to do that, you take 2 spoons, you scoop a little bit in 1 spoon, and you kind of push it off with the other spoon. Did that make sense? Thank you, Ruben, for saying that I look really good for my age. I know that you obviously just went to IMDb to look up my age. If you guys want to, I don't think I have a Wikipedia page, but apparently IMDb takes information from Wikipedia. So if somebody wanted to make a Wikipedia page for me and then put a different birthday, obviously make me younger, and so that IMDb would also think that I'm younger, I wouldn't stop you. But don't tell IMDb that this is my big secret plan. This was all you. This is all you guys. But it's like nobody wants their age out there. And I've also read things on forums that somebody had their identity stolen. So they were trying to get all of their personal information taken off the internet, but IMDb wouldn't remove their birthday. How annoying is that? That is our personal information. And we should be in control of how it gets displayed, right? Oh my gosh, there goes the timer. Let me go check that first batch of cookies. Okay, so I just checked on the cookies and they were in there for 8 minutes and they were not quite done. To be honest, I don't know how much I love doing this muffin tin trick. They're not evening out on top as much as I wanted, so you can kind of see my fingerprints in them. And they're kind of puffing up more than I wanted them to. But you know what? We're gonna roll with it and we're gonna see how they turn out in the end. So I guess I have to kind of flatten these out a little bit flatter because, yeah, they're kind of looking lumpy because I'm just using my fingers to press the cookies down. But I should have tried one where I didn't press the cookies down. If you're just joining us, we're making molasses cookies, and I saw this on the internet where you can bake cookies in a muffin tin, so I wanted to try it out. I've never tried it before, so I'm kind of just experimenting. I thought that it would be best to flatten the cookies into the tin, but I wonder what it would look like if you didn't flatten them. I wonder what it would look like if you just dropped the ball and let the ball expand on its own. Keeson, hi, lettuce, winky face, okay, lettuce. I love emojis. Sometimes I only respond to text messages in emojis. If I could only talk in emojis, that would be quite a feat. I think that my favorite emoji face is the one where he's going like, ah, that's my favorite emoji face. All right, so I just use my thumb to kind of flatten them out a little bit more. And I am sprinkling sugar on the top because when I make these molasses cookies before, I usually stamp them with sugar like you would a sugar cookie, and I just love having that nice coating of sugar on top. Just makes it a little crunchy and obviously sweeter because you guys know I love my sweets. All right, so we have our third sheet today. We made 36 cookies total. I had previously misspoken and said that we usually make 4 dozen cookies with this recipe, so I guess my cookies are going to be bigger than they are usually. Usually I like to make little tiny cookies because they're so cute when you package them up for the holidays. You put them in a nice bag and have all these little tiny cookies. I just think that it looks great. Except for like chocolate chip cookies, obviously I love having a huge giant cookie. Ruben Avila thinks I'm funny, or he's just smiling. I don't know, smiley, smiley, smiley. I also like how I have one sleeve out and one sleeve not out. I don't know what's going on. So we are just going to check on that first batch of cookies. It's been in there for about 10 minutes now. I usually bake these cookies for 8 to 10 minutes. But you know what? We're cooking in a muffin tin, so who knows what's going to happen. They need to go in there longer. I don't know. So I am going to take this over to the oven. I'm going to check on that other batch. Okay, guys. Oh, Ruben says wine, wine. Here, I should have brought my other not muffin. What am I saying? My other oven mitt so I can hold both sides. But you know what, guys? I'm not loving how these turned out. So can you see? Here's our finished cookies. So I did flatten them out with my fingers, and maybe I'll like zoom in with the camera so you can see. Hold on. I'm coming around. Here we go. Get ready to move. So can you guys see? Wait, this way, this way. So here is what our finished cookies look like. They are a little lumpy because I pressed in with my fingers. Okay, we're going back. We're going back. Brace yourselves. Okay, are you guys back? Anisha B. Hi, Anisha. You guys, Anisha is watching, and she was my guest last week, and she likes being on the other side too. And then Ruben Avila says, I'm quite fun to hang out with. Thank you, guys. You guys are fun to hang out with too. Thank you so much for being on the chat with me and talking with me. But anyway, so I just showed you what the cookies looked like. This is my first time ever trying to bake cookies in a muffin tin, and I don't know how I'm liking it. So I pressed down the cookie dough with my fingers. I didn't make it super flat. I thought that the cookie would even out. Oh my gosh, that's the oven timer. Be right back. Okay, so I took out that second batch, and the third batch is in there, and I brought a fork so we can pull out one of these cookies. Ooh, they are still nice and soft. I would let them harden in there a little bit more. So yes, so this is the first time I've ever tried baking cookies in a muffin tin. I saw it online, so I thought I'd give it a go, but I flattened out the cookie dough with my fingers, but it left it a little bit lumpy, and I thought that it would even out when it baked, but it didn't really even out those deep holes. I also sprinkled it with sugar because when I made these molasses cookies before, I like to stamp them with sugars like a sugar cookie. But because these cookies were not even on top, the sugar kind of filled in those little holes, which gives it a little interesting polka dotted kind of look. But the cookie is, well, it looks like a cookie on top, but it looks like a muffin on the bottom, which is also kind of annoying. And I guess it's kind of crispy around the edge, but still nice and gooey on the inside, which is how I love my cookies. But the appearance of these is not quite as adorable and uniform as I was hoping. I think that this trick, baking your cookies in a muffin tin instead of on a baking sheet, might go better with a type of dough like a shortbread, something that is not going to be as nice and fluffy and chewy and rise, because one of the other issues that we have here is that it rose on the outsides, but then most cookies, when you take them out, they might be domed, but then they kind of sink down as they cool, which is totally normal, but the edges are still higher than the bottom, so they kind of got a little cup, which does give me an idea. You can make these little cookie cups, and I could fill this on top now with, like, what would go great with molasses cookies, like a cream cheese filling, like a pumpkin cream cheese or something like that. That is a great idea. Or even just like chocolate or marshmallows, because I love s'mores, and so just sprinkling some marshmallows, and I have a little hand torch and kind of torch them up. That would be so fun. Ruben Avila says, I want some cookies. These do smell amazing. They smell exactly like what I'm used to, because I have made this molasses cookie recipe many times before. It is one of my favorite holiday cookie recipes to make. So they smell great. The texture on the inside is perfect. And I guess I'm just going to taste this and see what it tastes like. Yeah, these are good. I love them. So, they taste a little molasses. I shouldn't talk with my mouth full. That's so rude, isn't it? Yes, cream cheese. Yes, Anisha. I love it. I actually had cream cheese in my refrigerator. Now I'm saving it because I'm going to make some cheesecake in my rice cooker, because that's a thing that you can make, and I want to try it. But anyway, so I love these cookies because they are filled with the spices, cinnamon, ginger, cloves, so that tastes like Christmas to me. Those spices just really remind me of the holidays. It also has molasses in there, so it kind of tastes like a gingerbread cookie. But these are nice and fluffy and chewy on the inside, and I do get from the muffin tin a little crispy edge around the edges, which is nice. But if I had cooked them on a baking sheet like I normally would, then they would still brown around the edges. So I'm gonna call this muffin tin trick not my favorite. I probably will try it again with a different kind of cookie recipe, but these cookies, please still make them. I think they're delicious. What I normally do is make them on a baking sheet, cover with parchment paper or a silicone baking mat. I take my lovely cookie scoop that I love so much, so all of my cookie dough balls are the same size. I scoop them, place them on my baking sheet, and then I take a little bowl of sugar and a cup, and I stamp each dough ball with sugar. That gives it a nice little crusty edge, makes them nice and flat on the top so they all look super uniform. I keep eating. I love it. They're so good. Ruben Avila says tulip. I love it. I love tulips. I used to say tulips were my favorite flower, but I honestly don't know what my favorite flower is. But anyway, I digress. I'm still eating this cookie. I'm still loving this cookie. And I don't know what to do with all these cookies, because honestly, when I give cookies out for the holidays, I am super type A and perfectionist, and I want all of my cookies to look perfect when I give them out. And so maybe I'm just gonna have to eat them all. I don't know. But you guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I guess because I did this by myself and I didn't have anyone to talk to and mess around with, this was a super short stream. And because this is actually a very, very easy cookie recipe, I can summarize it for you because I think we have a few viewers, but today we made molasses cookies, which I love to make for the holidays. We were trying to make them in a muffin tin, which is a trick I saw on the internet, which I don't love. Well, I talked about it before. But this was just a super easy recipe with flour and I can't think of it off the top of my head. We whisked together our dry ingredients. Oh, Ruben Avila says Christmas tree, and Anisha V says, I'll help. Anisha, did you get through all of your cake pops yet? Because I actually still have 2 cake pops left because I made the rest of the cake pops. But I think that we did pretty good with our cake pops. I'm talking to Anisha B. She is on the chat if you see her name there. She was actually my guest last week, and we made vanilla cake pops, which were delicious. So please go check out that video. But anyway, for these molasses, Ruben and Vila, you can talk to us. Exactly, that is what I'm doing, which I love about this live stream thing is that I can talk to you guys live. It's actually like 20 seconds delayed, which is kind of annoying. But I love that you guys can talk to me and I can talk back to you. I think that is so cool. Technology these days. I'm really dating myself. But anyway, this recipe was, we whisked together our dry ingredients, which was flour, baking soda, salt, cinnamon, ginger, cloves. We creamed our butter and our brown sugar. And we added an egg and some molasses, mixed it all together, baked our cookies for 8 to 10 minutes at 375 degrees. That's it. Now I'm eating it. That's also why I love cookies, because they're super fast to bake. Like when you bake a cake, it takes 45 minutes, and you guys know that I do not have the patience to wait 45 minutes to eat my cake. Anyway, so don't talk while you chew. So you guys, as always, I will type up this recipe and put the written recipe on my website and leave a link in the comments, not the comments. Let's do that again. As always, I will type up this recipe, put it on my website, and put the link for that into the description box below. And I will also cut this video down into a shorter version and post just the instructions on my channel. So if you guys just want to know how it's made and don't want to hear me blab about who knows what, then that will be up on my channel in a few days, next week, usually like Tuesday or Wednesday. And that's it. If you guys want to ask any more questions before I sign off, I'm going to check on that last batch of cookies in the oven. So hurry up, type them out, and I'll be back. Alright, I am back. Nobody typed anything on the chat, but I just realized because I can see myself in real time and then I can see what you guys are seeing delayed, and by the time I came back, I actually saw myself leave, which is hilarious. So I guess I'll summarize one more time. Today we made molasses cookies for the holidays, and I put them in a muffin tin to see how they would bake because it was something I saw on the internet and I wanted to try. But I probably won't be doing that with these molasses cookies. I don't think that the final outcome came out great. Oh, Ruben Avila says bye, and Anisha B says you're the best. But yes, thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching my live stream. This was not as bad as I thought it would be, talking to myself, about myself. I don't know. You guys came and you joined me in the chat, so it was great to interact with you guys. And I love these cookies, and I'm probably going to eat 3 more before the day is up. And let me know in the comment section what are your favorite Christmas treats, because next week I will probably have a video. I don't think I will have family in town yet on Friday, so if I do, there won't be a video and I will post it on my social. But if I don't, then I will be here and I will see you guys next week. And if you guys want to see one of your favorite Christmas cookies or other holiday treats, put them in the comment section. What am I doing? Put them in the comment section below. And as always, I will type up the written recipe and I will put that in the description section, as well as editing this video down into a shortened version to put on my channel later. So thanks again for watching. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. I can't believe that I am over 8,000 subscribers, which is so awesome. I would love, love, love to make it over 10,000. So share these videos, get all of your friends to subscribe. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. That would be such a huge milestone to get over 10,000 subscribers. But I still love all of my subscribers, even if we don't make it to 10,000. What am I saying? We're gonna make it to 10,000. But thank you again for watching. What else do I usually say? Oh, guys, I have a Patreon. To be perfectly honest, I haven't been super active on my Patreon because when I used to edit my videos, I used to edit a blooper reel and put that on my Patreon. That's only for my patrons to view. And a patron is someone who pledges a donation to me every month. I have 2 patrons. One is my dad. So, but I think it's really awesome that there's people out there that support me, and you get access to my secret Patreon chat feed, and sometimes I put polls on what I should do for upcoming videos, or I'll put pictures of behind the scenes content, just really cool secret stuff that only my patrons can access. So if you're interested in any of that stuff, go check out my Patreon. There is a link in the description section below. And I think that is all for me. Surprisingly enough, we made this to 46 minutes. I was hoping to make it for the full hour, but I feel out-talked. I'm gonna go change into my sweatpants and I'm gonna watch TV on the couch. So hopefully I will see you guys next week. Bye, guys. Now I love this part where I say bye, but you're still watching me as I go onto my computer and say end stream.